Hi everyone, Random 2099 here, and I just saw The Lion King, so I want to review it. Now I have nothing really lion related. I actually, wait, no, I do. I have a whole bunch of the toys from the first movie, because I was a kid, and I enjoyed them. So I decided to reenact that scene where he, well, throws him into the sky, um, with, War Machine and Spider-Man. I don't know, I'm bored. Um, so, I am, so this video will have 3 parts to it. First part, are reboots a good idea, and what can they offer to a franchise? Second part, the review itself of Lion King. What did I like? What did I hate? What do I think they could have done better? And number 3, what reboots would I prefer to see? So, let's start off. Now, the first category, are reboots a good idea? Can reboots help a story? Can reboots even affect a story so much that you didn't like in the first place and now like it? The answer is yes. Now, most times you don't like reboots because they obviously are purposefully trying to make money and trying to um, either fix a story or sort of just add on to a story. Now, most times that's not true. Most times reboots are done because they want to make something new. They want to fix what they did. And I feel a couple movies that represent that very well is Captain America, the first Avenger. That really showed how reboots could actually fix a series and a character. And Child's Play. Child's Play was very interesting because I hated the original. Absolutely. I hated it. It was one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Because I didn't like that it was just a murderer who got transferred into this doll. Where this one, he sort of doesn't know that he's doing something bad. He just is doing what his programming is telling him. And I kind of like that. I think that's actually a nice spin on it. And that's why I really respect those movies. They really spin it. With Captain America, they made him more of a hero. They made him more of a captain. They made him lead people. Where in the old movie, he was by himself. He was just himself, no one else. And I really like that. That really fixed it for me. And that's how reboots could be good. Now, of course, in terms of like the Fantastic Four, it sort of just was like, we kind of need to redo Fantastic Four. It was really old, really cheesy. So why don't we try to make it more adult? Why don't we do that? Spider-Man 3 wasn't doing too well, and Sam Raimi wasn't able to make the like date that he had to get it released, and so of course he couldn't do it. Amazing Spider-Man 2 was obviously just because Sony felt that they could make Spider-Man in a darker way, more like Batman Begins and Batman Returns, and even those are reboots, and they're good. And I even think that the Val Kilmer reboot of Batman was acceptable by some standards. Now, onto the review of Lion King. Why did I see this movie? I really like Jon Favreau as a director, and it's kind of interesting taking a all animal cast and animating them in the style of real. Do I think it's a good idea? Usually no. My favorite movie that's live action with animals is Mowgli, Legend of the Jungle. Because Andy Serkis understands animals in these movies should not look like animals. They should look more humanistic. They should have eyebrows, they should have smiles, they should have really human eyes, making them seem more human, making it less weird that a voice is coming out of them. Admittedly, sometimes when the couple characters talk, I'm like, that's kind of weird. It's kind of weird, and I don't like it. Admittedly, I don't like it. That's why I didn't like the Jungle Book. When Baloo, was that his name? When he was talking, it wasn't really good. It wasn't striking my fancy. It was very like, oh my god, he looks so, doesn't look like he should be talking. And there are some points in this movie that happen like that, but I think it's still passable. Better than the Jungle Book. Do I like the casting choices? I love the casting choices. Billy Insher, I think that's his name. He does great. James Earl Jones, I'm glad that he was back. Eric Andre was one of my favorite actors from this movie, playing one of the hyenas. I forgot how to say his name. but that was great because he's that kind of, he can do that type of acting, and a lot of the actors were good. I especially like Beyonce in it because everything Beyonce is in is pretty funny. I like her. She's a good actress. I would like to see more movies with her, just because she's actually a good actress, and it just has to be her voice. It doesn't have to be her live action self. Um, and of course, I do like the relationship with Puma and Timon in this. I definitely do like that still, because I was worried that they would change it, make it more like, they'd make it worse. I feel, but they didn't. They didn't. It was great. I thought it was fantastic, um, and I loved it. And one of my favorite scenes in this movie is when they're it's a song. I forgot what the song was. Um, but it was beautiful and it was a great scene because you see all the jungle, you sort of see them walking, and I think that was a really good point of the movie. Um, and that's all I really have to say about the movie. It was good. If I had to give this a rating out of 10, I'd give it damn near close to an 8. I'd give it a 7.5. Because really, no movie can sort of, like, Jon Favreau was such a good director with taking all these movies that Disney wants to reboot and rebooting them in a good way. And I definitely think that Billy Shear, he plays Timon. He is fantastic. I mean, he could have been my favorite part of the movie. Just because awesome. And that's all I really gotta say about the movie. Only because I kind of want to talk more about reboots. Now, my third section. What can reboots really offer us? Can we get something new and great, like in Child's Play? Well, I'm talking about a future reboot. Ariel, The Little Mermaid. Oh my god. If there was a movie that's had so much controversy over the past couple weeks, it's this movie. And I think that they might can it because, I mean, if they're getting this much controversy over a reboot, it's kind of bad. Now, I had not seen any of the reboots. I did not see Dumbo. I plan on watching it sometime, but I did not watch it because, again, I have no sentimental attraction to Dumbo. I don't feel like I really need to see it. But, all that said, Danny DeVito in a movie, great, 10 out of 10. And with Aladdin. Now, Aladdin is my favorite Disney movie. I have the most nostalgia for that. Now, obviously, it's definitely not the best Disney movie. I think the best Disney movie is one that they probably shouldn't remake, because I don't know if it'll kind of have that same feel. Princess and the Frog. I love that Disney movie. If they reboot it, I'm going to be there opening night watching it. But if they don't, then I'm fine with it. But Ariel, them changing her and her whole physical appearance, I'm fine with. I'm not too fine with. Not that I don't disagree with it or in any way. Now, I did disagree with Will Smith playing Genie. Genie, yes, there are some parts where he is as a human in the cartoon, but 98% of the time he was blue. He was just the genie. So I didn't really like that Will Smith was sort of like a human sometimes talking to Aladdin in some of the trailers. And then, of course, when they're doing a dance, when they're doing a song, that's fine. But no one can replace Robin Williams as Genie. But I really gotta say, the nostalgia gets me. Having a reboot come out of something that I loved as a child gets me. I'm like, oh, that could be good. Lion King, I have a lot of nostalgia for. It's definitely not my favorite Disney movie, but it doesn't feel like I'm so attached to it that if they change it, I'm not that fine with it. Like, I'm not fine with it. Them changing Aladdin in many, many ways, I won't be fine with it. If they fully change Dumbo or something, I will be fine with it because I don't have that much nostalgia for it. That's all I really gotta say about Disney reboots. Now, why is Disney doing so many reboots? I can't really answer that. Only Disney can. And really, they're not doing it just to get money. That's obviously a kind of benefactor from it. But I think they're mainly doing it because they kind of realized some of our stuff was a little mean, racist, and obviously we could make a movie for generations. Now, they've had a lot of swing and a miss, such as the Disney, like, what was it called? Direct-to-DVD movies. A lot of those were bad. But a lot of them, but I feel that with the reboots, they can sort of feel like we did something right. And them obviously changing characters and actors and making Ariel black, I'm fine with. Because you know why? They're doing it for a right reason. Because there hasn't been that many princess movies with a black female girl. So I think that will actually be pretty good. And yeah, thank you for listening to me rant on about reboots. But it's just because, like, it's sort of something that if you talked about it, you're either on one side of, like, they're great, they're good money grabs. Or they're terrible, they're just money grabs, they don't respect us. I sort of feel in the middle. Yes, they want to grab some of our money, but they really do have an opinion about these movies. They want Aladdin to not seem racist. They want Ariel, they want people that have someone to look up to who's a different race. And I think that's great. In all means, I think Disney could continue with these and still make good ones. But is every reboot bad? Not by a long shot. Not by a long shot. That's all I really have to say. Thank you again for always watching. I really respect that you've sat through this video. I know it's kind of long. And I'm sort of just dragging on. Where obviously you could watch someone who wouldn't drag on as much. But I feel that with you waiting through this and like hearing it, you sort of are going to be like, oh yeah, that's sort of a good opinion. And that's me, Rodimus2099, corrupting your brain every step of the way. Anyway, thank you for watching. I have been Rodimus2099. I'll see you in the next video with a review of Hulk and Wolverine. But yeah, that's going to be the next video. Alright, bye!